Find a comfortable place to stand, and let's do a squat test. I like to call these squeeds. Let's squat and act like we're reading. Put our hands together where our pinkies are together. Open our palms towards our face. Let's squat and read in a way that's comfortable. So as soon as you get to a position in a squat where it's straining or uncomfortable, you don't feel like you could hold it for a long time, for 30 seconds or more, then you're going too deep. We're just doing this to assess. Maybe assess how you feel in this position. What's your depth of squat? What are some of the angles in your ankles or in your hips, in your knees? And just do this. Squat and read, and we're going to do like a little squat test at the beginning here. Okay, good. Stand up, relax. Only needs to be for a couple seconds. You're just squatting to see how it feels, to see where you are, to notice some things that are happening right now in that version of a squat. Okay, we're going to play a few games. We're going to do some squatitation. What I'd like everyone to do, what I'd like you to do, is with your feet flat on the ground, can you put your hands on the ground or close to the ground, somewhere in front of you while your feet are on the ground? And with your eyes, can you look through your legs behind you? Okay? Relax and stand up. So when we do this again, we're going to do the exact same thing. Putting your hands out in front of you on the ground, flat, while your feet remain flat on the ground. And as a modification, you can put your hands near the ground. You don't even have to touch the ground. But we're seeing if we can look with our eyes back through our legs and back behind us. Let's do this again and see if we can attend or sense some of the qualities of this. Some of the sensations in the ankles and the feet while we do this. And stay there for 3 or 5 or 10 seconds. What's the quality of the contact that our feet make with the ground? Okay, relax and stand up. So the idea is to not strain. The idea is to each time we do this, see if we can do it in a more comfortable manner each time. And see if we can pick up on some of the sensations that are happening in our skeletal system somewhere, some aspect of how we do this. And just notice our doing this, our being in relation to the environment. How's our breathing? What are some sounds that we notice in the environment? Okay, let's do this again. And this time, after we put our hands down toward the ground or on the ground, and we have our feet also flat on the ground, we're gonna go back and forth between looking through our legs behind us and then sinking our hips and adjusting our head so we are looking now out in front of us and up toward the horizon in front of us. And we're just going to flow back and forth many times. As soon as it becomes uncomfortable or feels like we're straining, just take a break and relax. And then when you feel comfortable, go back to it. So we're going to, with our hands flat on the ground and our feet flat on the ground, we're going to look behind us as our hips rise to allow us to do that. And then our hips will sink and we're going to look out on the ground in front of us or out towards the horizon in front of us. And then we're going to go back to the hips rising, looking behind us. and looking out in front of us. And relax. We're just going to do this several times slowly. Just notice what you notice. Maybe pay particular attention to sensations in the ankles, in the hips, in the spine, or in the shoulders. And relax. Stand up, maybe walk around, a few steps forward, a few steps back. And if we're paying attention to some aspect of what's happening right now, that energy of attention can be tiring. So when we're resting, like in these rest breaks, it's just zone out, just rest. And let the nervous system make sense of the material that we're giving it through attention in any way it wants to. Okay, now we're going to try one more thing. This time we're going to throw a wrench into the activity on purpose. We're going to squatitate by putting our hands on or close to the ground in front of us with our feet flat on the ground. And the wrench that we're going to throw on this is when the hips rise, and on the previous version we were looking through our legs behind us. Now when our hips rise, we're actually going to try to do the opposite. We're going to try to move our head so that it's looking, and our eyes are looking forward out to the horizon in front of us. And this is going to be purposely more challenging. So if we notice that it's more filled with tension, or there's a spot where our body says, no, don't go anymore, listen. So this can be a fraction of the movement that it was before. But when the hips rise, we're going to try to look out in front of us a little bit, notice where it gets hard, and stop. And then when our hips sink, and before we were looking out in front of us, now we're going to try to look through our legs behind us. So try this several times. Okay, be done. And now, relaxed, let's finish this with a squat test, or a squat and read at the end to assess how we feel, what we notice at the end here versus when we started. So just squat comfortably and read. And then stand up after we notice what we notice. Was there a change in the depth of our squat versus in the beginning? Was there a change in the comfort? Was there a change in the muscle tone? Was it less tense or more relaxed or easier in any way? And then when we notice what we notice, move on with our day or move on with our night. Enjoy.